Hello and welcome. This is the first episode of a series of videos that will cover the complete service life of the US Navy's World War II aircraft carriers, the Essex-class. An astonishing 24 units were built during the dark days of the Second World War, and the design was so successful that they managed to survive into the jet age, where many new requirements were incorporated into the design. Due to the vast amount of data, I think it's safe to say that nothing like this has been attempted online, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss an episode. The Essex-class story begins in 1938. That year, rising international tensions led the US Congress to pass the Second Vinson Act, authorizing an increase in naval tonnage. Among the new construction were two fleet carriers. One was CV-8, later named Hornet, a third and final unit of the Yorktown class. The other was CV-9, a brand new design intended to be more capable than the Yorktowns and ready by 1944. Although designed before America entered the war, CV-9 would become the prototype for a wartime carrier fleet built on an industrial scale. This drawing of scheme CV-9E, dated December 6, 1939, represents the first major design of what would become the Essex-class. The design was essentially an enlarged version of the earlier Yorktown class. The Yorktowns were the first carriers that truly met the operational expectations of the US Navy, but rapid developments in naval aviation, especially the growing size and weight of carrier aircraft, meant their capacity had already been reduced from 90 aircraft to around 80. Larger aircraft required longer takeoff runs, which took up more of the flight deck and reduced the available space for a deck park. As we focus on the timeline of the Essex-class carriers, we'll now move away from the design details and dive directly into the construction phase. The initial authorization for one Essex-class unit was increased to 4 by the Two Ocean Navy Act in June 1940. The orders for 4 Essex-class units, CVs 9 to 12, were placed with the Newport News Shipbuilding and Dry Docking Company on July 4, 1940. After the fall of France, Congress voted for a 70% naval expansion, which included a further 7 Essex-class units. On September 9, 1940, the orders for CVs 13 to 15 were added to Newport News, and CVs 16 to 19 were placed with Bethlehem Steel at Quincy, Massachusetts. As we reveal 1941, we see 5 units laid down. The red bars represent construction time before commission. The United States entry into World War II in December is marked by the start of a purple rectangle. At Newport News, there were 2 slipways capable of constructing ships the size of the Essex. Shipways number 8 and 9 were semi-submerged inclined slipways, both 1,000 feet long, with a width of 110 feet. Through 1940, they were occupied by the Yorktown-class carrier Hornet CV-8 on shipway number 8, and the South Dakota-class battleship Indiana on shipway number 9. The Essex was laid down on shipway number 8 on April 28, 1941. At Bethlehem Quincy in Massachusetts, only slipway number 10 was capable of building an Essex-class, and that was occupied by the South Dakota-class battleship Massachusetts. However, 2 more slipways were under construction, and when complete, a second unit, CV-16, was laid down on slipway number 11 as Cabot on July 15, 1941. A third unit, CV-17, was laid down on the new slipway number 12 as Bunker Hill on September 15, 1941. This photograph looking aft and taken 3 months after CV-16 was laid down shows the lowest deck, called the hold, being installed. Back at Newport News, the US Naval Expansion Program included 2 new graving docks, shipway number 10 at 960 feet long and 128 feet wide, and shipway number 11 at 1100 feet long and 140 feet wide. CV-10 was laid down on shipway number 9 as Bonham Richard on December the 1st, 1941, adjacent to the Essex. On the same day, CV-11 was laid down in the new graving dock, shipway number 10, and giving the name Intrepid. 6 days later, the Japanese made a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor and America was at war. As 1941 drew to a close, 2 more Essex units were ordered on December the 15th as CVs 20 and 21. These were assigned to the Brooklyn Navy Yard and Newport News respectively. Therefore, at the end of 1941, there were 5 units under construction with a further 8 units on order and waiting to be laid down. This concludes episode 1 of the full Essex-class timeline. Make sure you subscribe to catch the next episode, and please give me a like to keep me going with this huge project. Okay, if you've made it this far, you must be a fanatic like me, so let me share with you some of the things I have on offer in my store. Many carrier designs are all available as t-shirts, mugs, hats, etc. I do requests, so contact me if you would like me to do a specific design and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for sticking with it to the end, and I hope you managed to watch the next video.